because now I understand. Now I understand what I went through.
Crytal Harris was just the kind of playboy playmate that Hugh Hefner desired. Crytal was 20 years old, and she called him Hef like everyone else. Hugh was 60 years older than Crytal. She became his third and last wife at the age of 26. When Hugh passed away, Crytal was by his side, so she became a rich young widow, right? Listen closely to the real truth, because it's twisted. Crytal got huge chest implants when she lived in the Playboy mansion with Hef. Her hair was bleached platinum blonde, but Crytal did not get what you might expect from Hugh's will. Crytal's world came crashing down when Hugh passed away.
Ever since then, I've just been trying to understand it all, trying to understand my time there.
She knows she was seen as a gold digger during her marriage, but anyone who throws shade at Crytal needs to learn the real truth. She paid a price to be Hugh's wife. Now, Crytal's sharing her side of the story, or at least she's sharing what she wants us to know. Hugh's last will and testament were never publicly disclosed, but inside sources claim that Hugh's estate was valued at $43 million. Sources allege that he divided the bulk of his estate among his 4 kids from his 2 previous marriages. Allegedly, Hugh also left money to his favorite charities. He even left money to the University of Southern California Film School. But when it comes to exactly how much Crytal got, her side of the story isn't clear, because Crytal hasn't revealed how much Hugh left her in the will. Some sources allege that Crytal got shafted by Hugh. She has made serious allegations about the prenuptial agreement that Hugh made her sign. Allegedly, the prenup was so unfair. A lawyer told Crytal it was unfavorable for her to sign. Shockingly, the lawyer thought that the prenup was so bad that the lawyer refused to represent Crytal as a client, because they said that Crytal wouldn't get a dime from Hugh's estate. Other sources are making very different claims about Crytal's net worth now, and these sources want to set the record straight. Although Crytal might be telling the real truth about Hugh's will, and she barely got anything, Crytal's name is allegedly on the deed of a 6,000 square foot mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Inside sources allege that Hugh bought the $7 million mansion for Crytal. It was allegedly a gift for Crytal from Hugh on their 1-year wedding anniversary. And that's not all. Allegedly, an anonymous source close to Hugh gave Crytal $5 million after Hugh passed away. Crytal has set the record straight on her life before and after Hugh. She primarily lives in a small house in Hawaii now. Crytal says she doesn't regret the time she spent in the Playboy mansion. If sources are telling the truth about the Hollywood Hills mansion and the $5 million, Crytal's got a fairly comfortable lifestyle. Although she wants us to know that she's a working woman too. After Hugh passed away, Crytal spent 5 years working on herself. She also wrote a book. The book title sounds kind of crazy. Crytal called it Only Say Good Things. You won't believe why she called it that. Crytal said that Hugh told her to only say good things about him after he passed away. At that time, Crytal shockingly admitted that she was Team Hef. But now Crytal wants to tell the real truth about her marriage to Hugh and life in the Playboy mansion. If her prenup was really that bad, Crytal alleges that her life as Mrs. Hugh Hefner was so much worse. For Crytal, the Playboy mansion wasn't a party. It was a prison. Hugh set a nightly curfew for Crytal. If you're wondering how late she got to stay out, you won't believe this, because Crytal alleges that Hugh never let her leave the mansion without him. She had to be by his side every evening at 6 p.m. Hugh always made Crytal eat the same dinner with him. If you're picturing gourmet meals at the mansion, Hugh only ate chicken soup with crackers and cream cheese. Crytal soon realized Hugh wasn't going to be faithful to her after their wedding. Shockingly, he made Crytal participate in his group bedroom activities. And even more shocking, Hugh was taking so many little blue tablets in his 80s. Crytal said that Hugh lost his hearing on one side because he overdid the performance supplements. Crytal met Hugh at a Playboy Mansion Halloween party. She caught his eye and she ended up spending the night with him. Shortly after that, she moved into the mansion, but she was expected to share Hugh's affection with his other girlfriends at the time, including bleached blonde twins who were just 18 years old. Crytal has shockingly admitted that Hugh could be pretty heartless. He would choose one girl over the other. It was all just a game to him. Crytal claims it felt devastating when Hugh would pick another girl over her. Hugh also told all of his women exactly what to wear, but Crytal threw the most shade at one little thing that Hugh used to do. It ticked her off that Hugh didn't even let her choose her own nail polish color. Crytal finally earned the top spot among Hugh's live-in girlfriends, and she talked about the day Hugh gave her a little jewelry box. Inside was a 3.5 carat engagement ring. Hugh didn't even bother to get the ring sized for her. He just told Crytal, "I hope it fits." They got married on New Year's Eve. And some people can't understand why Crytal subjected herself to that kind of lifestyle. She claims she tried to believe Hugh loved her the best as he knew how. Crytal studied psychology before she met Hugh, so she claims to understand how Hugh played with people's minds. While Crytal had loving parents, she's described her childhood as broken. Her dad was a singer. He moved the family from England to the US to try to make it in the music industry, but Crystal's dad passed away from cancer when she was just 12 years old, and Crytal and her mom barely made it from paycheck to paycheck after that. Crytal says she grew up having to depend on the kindness of strangers. She never felt like she had any power. It was a recipe for manipulation. And Crytal alleges that Hugh knew knew exactly how to control her. It definitely sounds like Crytal and Hugh had a twisted love story, but Crytal set the record straight on her marriage. She stayed with Hugh until the end. Crytal alleges that she also kept Hugh's secrets. Hugh didn't want anyone in the outside world to know he was using a walker. Hugh was 91 years old when he passed away from natural causes. Although his passing was incredibly hard on Crytal, she didn't expect what happened afterward. Crytal confessed that she spent 2 weeks alone in the Playboy mansion after Hugh passed away. She didn't know what to do next, and she couldn't believe Hugh was gone. After Crytal left the mansion for good, she said she was shocked by one thing. People she knew before keep wanting to set her up on dates. Crytal alleges that these people aren't thinking about what's best for her, and they've only ever introduced her to way older men. She threw major shade at those matchmakers when she said, "I feel like everyone is trying to pass me around to the next 80-year-old. It's awful." But as it turns out, Crytal doesn't need to be set up. It did take her several years to find love closer to her own age. Crystal's had a couple of serious boyfriends in the last few years, and her ex-boyfriend has a pretty impressive resume. Crytal dated a spaceship engineer from July 2020 to May 2021. His name is Nathan Levi, and Nathan worked on the team that launched Elon Musk's SpaceX Dragon. After that relationship ended, Crytal took a couple of months off. Then she went public with a new boyfriend in July 2021. His name is Ryan Blake Malati, and they looked cute together. Years ago, Ryan was on a reality TV dating show. This show aired when Hugh and Crytal were married. More recently, Ryan hosted programs on AfterBuzz TV. He's also appeared in movies made for streaming platforms and a couple of short films. Before they went official with their relationship, an inside source claimed that Ryan and Crytal were good friends, and they were getting to know each other. But I don't know if Crytal and Ryan are still dating. Crytal did post a crazy message on her Instagram. This happened right after she broke up with Nathan. Crytal wrote, "I've been surrounding myself with people I love and trying to take things easy lately. I'm healing from things in my life and growing as a person." That sounds like the real truth. But it's crazy that Crytal went on to delete the post. I hope that Crytal is healing now, and she keeps growing as a person like she wants to. Do you think Crystal's prenup was unfavorable? How about the Hollywood Hills mansion? Or the $5 million allegedly given to Crytal? Would you read Crytal's book about life in the Playboy mansion? Let me know in the comments below.